Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Via and I am genuinely passionate about makeup, so you are definitely going to find a lot of that on my channel. In today's video, I kind of want to break down the idea of a full glam makeup look. I want to show you how easy and quick it can actually be, because when it comes to full glam makeup looks, we always think like it's not beginner friendly and it will take too many products and steps and stuff. So in this video, I want to bring you something that is really simple. Even if you are a beginner, I am pretty sure you can follow along, and that doesn't take as much products so that you don't feel like that in some way you don't have enough products to follow this tutorial. And I brought these colors because they are pretty like universal. Like these are probably colors that you have, or at least you have something similar in your personal makeup kit, and they will flatter any skin tone. So yeah, before we move on to the tutorial, don't forget to like this video and also to subscribe to my channel, because as I always say, that's an amazing way of supporting me as a content creator. And now it's finally time for the tutorial, so let's go. As you guys probably know by now, I love starting off by doing my eye makeup because I don't like to get my complexion ruined, and I hate when there is fallout on my complexion or I need to change something on my eye makeup and redo it, and I can't because I already have my complexion done, and that kind of messes things up. So the first thing that I will be doing is to apply concealer. I always use concealer to build the base for the eyeshadows because I honestly love the fact that the concealer evens out the skin tone. To blend it, I'm going to be using my beauty blender, and I am not getting as close as usual to the eyebrows because I actually have been trying a new brush recently to define that line, and I am going to show you what I've been doing. So this is the brush that I've been using. It's from Zoeva and it's their 322, and it's called their brow line brush. And I kind of like pick a little bit of concealer and use the brush to sharpen this line. And especially me being super clumsy filling in my brows, this is like the best thing that has ever happened to me. Guys, as I've mentioned before, like the more that I try from Zoeva, the more that I want to try brush wise, because to be honest, I have never tried any of their makeup products. Not because I'm not curious, but I don't know, never happened. And then to make sure that I don't have this really sharp line of concealer, I place the brush like this on its side and I start kind of pushing the product. To set this base, I will be using my favorite powder. This one is from Laura Mercier and I use it in the shade Translucent. You can use any brush to apply this powder, but my favorite type of brush to do this is a large blending brush for eyeshadows, because I hate when I get powder all over my eyebrows and stuff, so yeah. And one thing that I really don't like doing is going with my eyeshadows without setting the concealer. I hate it when the concealer just grabs too much pigment, so I always set it just to make sure that it's not tacky at all, and it just makes my blending part of the makeup so much easier. This might sound a little bit too much, but I am actually going to be using 2 eyeshadow palettes and 1 loose pigment for this makeup look. And the first eyeshadow palette that I will be going in with is this one. This is from Urban Decay and it's the Naked Heat palette. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I love this palette. I just love like warm brownish tones, and this is just full of it. So the first eyeshadow that I'm going in with is this one called Sauced. And the brush that I'm using is the same large blending brush that I was using to apply the translucent powder, and it's the Morphe M441. I'm just going to apply this eyeshadow all over my crease, nothing too precise to be honest. And one thing that I want to make sure in this makeup look is that nothing is too precise, nothing requires too much skill, so that even if you are a beginner, you can do this. Actually, I kind of miss doing a cut crease or something like really bam for YouTube, maybe in my next makeup tutorial. I'm actually thinking about doing a video about this on my IGTV, but one thing that I want to say is that especially if you have hooded eyes, you don't want to close your eyes entirely to apply the eyeshadow that you are using. You actually want to look kind of straight in the mirror and blend it with your eyes a little bit open. This will allow you to be able to open your eyes and not feel like the eyeshadows are just gone, you know? This is something that I've struggled with in the past, and then I found this trick and it's honestly a game changer. And one thing that I'm also doing with this eyeshadow is just pulling it outwards. I actually kind of miss to play with Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes. I have 2, this one and the cherry one. and I honestly really like them, but for some reason I tend to never use them. Maybe I will do like one spring makeup look with a pink kind of eye look, and I will be using the cherry one. I'm also placing this eyeshadow in the outer third of my lid. Now I'm going in with this brush from Zoeva. This is the 231 and it's their Luxe Petite Crease. With this brush I am picking the eyeshadow Cayenne. I think that's how it is called. And now I am applying it on my crease. I'm not taking it too far in, probably until like half of my crease. And the reason being is I want to focus the darkest part of the eye makeup in the outer part so that it kind of helps elongate the eyes. As you can see, like having the eyes slightly open really helps with this. And when I close it or even lean my head like this, you can see that it's a little bit higher than my crease, and that for me is like the perfect place to apply the eyeshadow. I am also taking this eyeshadow to the other part of my lid to help building and intensifying that outer V. With the same brush, I am also pushing the eyeshadow a little bit outwards, not as much, but just a little bit. So now moving on to the lid, I am first going in with this loose pigment. This is from Artist Couture. This is their Diamond Lights finisher in the shade Diamond Bronze. I love this pigment. It gives me life, to be honest. This is so pretty. I don't know if you can see it like this, you probably can't, but it's really pretty. And it's so intense, like it just transforms the makeup look. But obviously you can use just a dark kind of bronzed shimmer and you'll be good to go. To apply it, I will be using this brush from Morphe. This is the M213 and it's just a tiny shader brush. And I am only going to be applying it more like in the outer part of the lid. Like, can you see how intense that is? It really glows, honestly. Like, this is one of my favorite eyeshadows that I've tried so far. The formula is just amazing, and so is the color. We are probably going to be retouching this because this is not the only shimmery pigment that we will be applying. The second palette that we will be using is this one from Makeup by Mario. This is the Master Metallics, and I am sorry, I know that my white balance probably has like gone crazy by now, but extreme white items and the iPhone camera just are not a great match. The first eyeshadow from this palette that I'm going in with is the metallic number 1, which is this really gorgeous golden. I am using this other Morphe brush, the M210, which is just a larger shader brush. I am applying it pretty much in the center of my lid and going towards my inner corner, but only like in the lower part, because one thing that I love doing that helps like open up the eyes and just making everything look really bright is to pop a lighter shimmer in the inner corner, like this tiny area in here, and bring it until here, only in the upper part, if that makes sense. I will just show you what I'm gonna do. Now I'm going in with my finger because it honestly increases the color payoff like crazy. Next, I am taking the Luxe Precise shader, which is the 238 from Zoeva, and it's this tiny shader brush to apply this metallic. This is the metallic number 8, and I am going to pop it right on my inner corner and bring it until like almost half of my crease, but only in the upper part. As you can see, it adds a lot of brightness, and this is just something that I really love seeing in my makeup looks. Now I'm just going back and forth to smooth this transition. One thing that I honestly feel about this makeup look is that when you are a beginner, it's kind of normal to be sort of intimidated by the eyeshadows and always kind of go for looks that require the least amount of eyeshadows as possible. It's perfectly like understandable, but this makeup look is kind of good to empower you and to make you feel a little bit more comfortable using eyeshadows, because you are playing with quite a few eyeshadows, but mostly shimmers and on the lid. I don't know, I just feel like that kind of gives you a little bit more confidence, and it paves the way into eyeshadows in a more like easy way, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's just what I feel about this makeup look, because even though we are using a few eyeshadows, as I said, this is kind of a simple makeup look to do. So yeah, that's just my take from it. I am not going to be doing an eyeliner on this makeup look just for the sake of its simplicity, but I am still going to kind of like try to intensify this makeup look and make my lashes look a little bit more full even applying the falsies. And for that I am taking a third eyeshadow palette, but the only reason why I'm using this one is because none of the other two have a black matte eyeshadow, so I really need to use this one. So this is the other Makeup by Marius palette, the Master Mattes eyeshadow palette, and I am taking this really pigmented black eyeshadow using this brush from Zoeva, the 310, which is their spot liner. This brush barely has any bristles, but yeah, it's really good to keep that precision. What I'm doing is basically tight lining my lash line. I don't know, I just love doing this to make the lashes look super full and stuff. And that's actually one of the things that I feel about makeup, is not like one step that you do, is the combination of several steps and several techniques. So even if it makes a small difference, the end result is like full of those little things which kind of make your own style. I am bringing the brush until my inner corner pretty much, because this brush is that tiny. So guys, before I even started this video, I applied some Mascara cream just to increase the luminosity of my skin, and now I'm going in with this MAC Prep+Prime Natural Radiance Primer. I love this primer. I have used it countless times on my channel because it's really that good. And basically what it does is just to increase the luminosity of the skin while kind of like moisturizing it. And it was upside down, so now I cannot take the product off the package. Oh my god. I'm just going to apply this all over my complexion. The lashes that I'm going to be using today are these ones. The brand is called Sozu, I think. I'm not really sure if that's how you pronounce it. I'm changing the foundation that I'm using today, and the one that I will be going in with is this one from MAC. This is the Studio Fix Fluid with SPF. I love this foundation. This was actually the foundation that I used to wear pretty much every single day while I was working at a store, and I just love the formula. I love how it sits on the skin, and the durability of this foundation is just insane. And can we just appreciate how satisfying it is while the bottle is perfectly clean? So guys, to apply my foundation, I will be using my damp beauty blender as usual. I love using it to apply the foundation. It's honestly the best tool that there is, in my opinion. Guys, one personal thing that makes me love this foundation like no other is that this is the best match to my complexion. I always find it a little bit too hard to buy foundations for myself because I'm kind of like in between the neutral and warm, and this is actually an NC, which means that it's neutral cool. But the thing about MAC is that the warmer, that is the orangey tones, they call it the cooler tones. They do it like the other way around. So yeah, I'm kind of like in between those two undertones, and foundations usually tend to go a little bit too orange or a little bit too neutral for me. And one thing that my skin loves doing is to kind of change and manipulate the shade of the foundation. Sometimes I put on foundations that are so orange and then my face makes them peach. And I'm not kidding, like once I was at Sephora and I went there, I mean, because with the pandemic I don't do that anymore, but I went there and I tried some foundations that were like pretty much my undertone and somewhat similar to my complexion colors. So just to make sure that I was buying like the proper shade, you know, I was just trying them on. And one thing that I always do is to try it in here and then go outside, actually leaving the mall, and see it in natural lighting, because that's the best lighting in which you can see if the foundation is appropriate for your skin tone. And in that day I was actually trying to buy my NARS foundation, which is not exactly my shade, but it's pretty close, so I'm cool with it. And I tried so many warm shades, and every time I left it would just look super rosy and peachy, and I would have to try a bunch of them again. So I started like trying like 3 in a row so that I would save my legs, you know, because there was a lot of cardio that day. But yeah, anyways, now moving on to concealer, I'm going in with the same old one, my NARS one. I actually used to have the Studio Fix one, but I don't think this will last even one more time. I just keep the package so that I don't forget the shade. And I am not applying that much concealer, not because I don't want to, but because I am running out of it. I am again going in with my beauty blender to blend this. Okay, so now I'm going back in with my translucent powder from Laura Mercier, and I am using it to set my complexion. And today I'm actually not going to be using any creamy bronzer because, as I mentioned in my last video, not everyone has bronzer in such formula. And yeah, I want this to be like a little bit easier to do and you know, I kind of want to give you like an easier and more beginner friendly idea of full glam makeup looks. So yeah, I'm going to stick to the formulas that I believe that pretty much everyone has. Don't forget to set your neck, especially if you are wearing white blouses like I am, but whatever is the color of your clothes, always set your neck. So guys, I did set my under eye area using the same method, but since I tend to crease a lot, I am still going to bake, and I always extend my baking until the size of my nose. So while this whole thing is baking, I am going to be moving on to powder bronzer, and I'm going to be using the Shade and Light palette from KVD. This is actually from my Makeup Pro kit, but I am using it on my video kind of like to get to work with a formula, because I love to work with formulas that I love on clients, so I always use them on myself. And the shade that I'm going to be using to bronze my face is this one in the middle, which is called Shadow Play. The brush that I'm using to apply it is my Japanese brush. I love this one and I have used it so many times on my channel, to be honest. I love my Holo bronzer, and it kind of hurts me not to be using it right now, but I want to give you like more options and more variety. And you actually don't have to buy like the full palette, you can buy the pairs of shadows. I just have the full palette because, as I said, this is for my makeup kit, so I want to be able to cover the skin tones that I need to cover. Guys, I'm going to dust off all of this baking powder that I have because I want to be able to apply the bronzer on the sides of my nose as well. So guys, one thing that I'm still going to do is to bake right underneath my bronzer because I like to sharpen my face a little bit more. Okay, so for blush, I am still going to be using my OG. This is from NARS and it's in the shade Orgasm. This is what it looks like on the inside. I love this blush, and honestly, I feel like this one is kind of irreplaceable, and the fact that it has like gold shimmer to it is just perfect for this kind of makeup look. It just kind of matches the whole theme. And I'm still using my Japanese brush, but I obviously cleaned it. I just remember that I completely forgot to apply the setting spray before moving on to powders. But if you want to recreate this look, that is a step that I always do. I kind of forgot it because I'm filming, and when I'm filming sometimes like my brain works like 50%, you know, of its capacity. But anyways, that is something that I recommend you to do because it will increase the durability of your makeup, and that's something that you definitely want. Not me, because I'm filming this and then I'm taking my makeup off to go to sleep because it's late. It's way past midnight, but yeah. But if you want the makeup look to last, which you probably want, you might want to do that. Okay, so before I dust off this powder, I'm going to quickly finish my lower lash line and my lashes. And first, I'm going to be taking my Naked Heat palette and using my 231 brush from Zoeva, the one that I used previously. I am taking Sauce, which was the first matte eyeshadow that we used, and I am running it all over my lower lash line. Now taking the 234, also from Zoeva. I know that I use like tons of Zoeva and Morphe brushes, but they are honestly my favorites, so I tend to always stick to them. So yeah, using this brush, I am taking Cayenne, which was the second and last matte eyeshadow that we used, and I am tight lining my lower waterline. Okay, so I'm quickly dusting off this powder before this gets like too sharp. So guys, now I'm running this Urban Decay pencil. This is the 24/7 Glide On Eye pencil in the shade of Whiskey. I'm going to run it on my waterline. Okay guys, so now for mascara, I'm using the Volume Million Lashes. This is from L'Oreal, and this mascara is not going to intensify the lashes a lot, but that's actually the point because I already have falsies. It just gives them their color back that it's kind of faded by now from all of the powders and creams and stuff. And when it comes to the upper lashes, it just helps blend them with the falsies a lot better. Before we move on with this makeup look, I'm just going to spray my face. Finally, this time I remembered. And I'm going to be using my Fix Plus. So guys, before my complexion is completely dry, I'm going in with my highlighter. This one is from Becca and I always use it in the shade Moonstone. I love this highlighter, and to be honest, I've tried a few more. I am using a Morphe Deluxe brush. Yes, I'm glowing again, you guys. Now I'm switching to my Shade and Light brush from KVD to apply the highlighter in the tinier areas like my inner corner and also my brow bone and the bridge of the nose and Cupid's bow. So guys, now I'm just taking my lip mask off, and yes, this was a mask because my lips were so dry. I love this one, and I actually mentioned it in my skincare video. I have changed quite a few things on my skincare routine, but that one is definitely a staple. So guys, I am taking my favorite lip pencil, which is this one from MAC, to line my lips. Now for lipstick, I'm taking this one. This is from Candice Bernice, and the shade is Nude Beigely. This is what the package looks like. It's kind of like a nude pinkish lipstick. It might sound ridiculous, but I'm actually impressed that I tried a different lipstick than Ludwig, and I am not changing it. I am actually going to stick to it. Okay guys, so I decided to go back in with my Master Metallics eyeshadow palette and apply a little bit more of this gold shade, but this time to my lower lash line. Just kind of like pressing this shimmer in the first half of the lower lash line. This is the final makeup look, guys. I am obsessed with it. I honestly love this kind of golden and glowy makeup looks. I don't know, it's just really my vibe. You guys know that I'm really into nude and bronzed shades, and I really hope that I gave you like a different perspective on full glam makeup look so that you don't feel as intimidated in case you are a beginner. And yeah, full glam makeup look can be really simple and easy to do, and actually kind of quick to do. And yeah, I really love this makeup look. I would totally wear it. I love it, and I honestly feel like this is something that anyone can rock. But yeah guys, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to leave it a like and also to subscribe to my channel, because as I always say, that's an amazing way of supporting me as a content creator. And I hope to see you in my next video.